Example number 2. Ed wants to buy a car and needs to use credit to finance it. The cost with taxes and shipping is $25,934. Ed wants to repay his loan in 4 years using monthly payments and has 2 credit options. So option A, his secured line of credit at 1.7 compounded monthly above the Bank of Canada rate, which our textbook says is 0.5%. Okay, so we need to add those two things together. And the dealership's financing plan at 2.75% compounded daily. A, which option should he choose and why? And B, suppose the Bank of Canada changed the rate from 0.5% to 1.2 after 2 years. How would this affect his line of credit payments if he still wanted to pay off the loan in 4 years? And question C, if the Bank of Canada rate changed, as described in Part B, does your answer to Part A change? Explain. Dun, dun, dun. So let's analyze his 2 different options here. We have the line of credit. And we also have his dealership financing. So first things first, his line of credit. We know that he can make monthly payments and it's compounded monthly. Oh, that's nice, instead of compounded daily. We know that the present value, the amount that he needs to borrow, is $25,934. The future value, we hope that it's 0. And he's going to make 4 years worth of monthly payments. And the interest rate here, okay, it's going to be 1.7 plus 0.5. So, we have here, we know that this is going to be 48, or 12 times 4. This is going to be 1.7 plus 0.5. Look at that, 2.2%. We have this one is 25,934. The payments, this is what we're going to be solving for here. Forgot to make my little identification there. And we hope that we pay it off, so our future value is 0. 12 payments per year and 12 compounding periods per year. So I go back up to my payment here, and it is going to be $564.91. Let's figure out what the interest paid on that is. So sum int 148, so from the beginning to the end. So he pays a total of $1,181.58 in interest. Alright, so let's figure out what this dealership financing is and see what the amount of interest is for that. Same as here for this, we're going to make 4 years worth of monthly payments. The only thing that's different here is that this is 365, okay, 365 compounding periods per year. The interest rate we have identified is 2.75%, and the present value is the same. So he still needs to borrow $25,934. The payments, we're going to figure out what they are, and the future value, well, we hope that it's 0. Let's figure this out here. So, technical difficulties, no problem. So we're going to go to Finance, TDM Solver. Stick with 48. This is 2.75 instead. Payment present value is the same, and the only thing that changes actually is this 365 here. So the payments are going to be $571.21. So we're just looking at it, and we know that it's the same amount of time. The interest rate here is higher, and the monthly payments here for the dealership are higher. So my gut tells me that the interest is going to be higher as well. Let's figure it out for realsies, though. Go down to sum int 1, 48. close bracket, enter, and we're paying, yep, $1,483.86 in interest. Right there. So, it's clear from this that the line of credit is better. Let's take into consideration question B, though. So suppose the Bank of Canada rate changed to 1.2% after 2 years. How would this affect his line of credit payments until if he wanted to pay off the loan in 4 years? So the way that we have to think about this is we have to think about it in 2 different sections. Okay, so the first 2 years, they actually look exactly the same as this. The only thing that changes here is we have 2 years of monthly payments instead of 4 years of monthly payments. So this is going to, this is still going to be 2.2, which is just 1.7 plus 0.5. The present value is $25,934. Payments, we're going to stick with the payments that we have up here, so $564.91. The future value, though, how much is left over after 2 years? That's what we need to solve for. And the payments per year and compounding periods per year are still 12. What happens then is we take that amount that's left over and put it in for our present value. And our interest is going to be 1.7 plus 1.2 instead of 1.7 plus 0.5, because remember, it's 1.7 above Canada Prime, which after 2 years becomes 1.2 in this hypothetical situation. So let's figure out what how much is left. TVM solver. So this is not going to be 48, but it's going to be 24. 2.2. This is the same. We're going to put this as negative 564. 0.91. Future value, we don't know what that's going to be actually, so we're going to leave that and get back to it. Alpha, enter. The future value is going to be $13,251.92. And like I said before, this value here now is going to go into here, so this is going to be $13,251.92. The payments per year, the payments per month, we're going to figure it out. We know that the future value at the end of the 4 years, so at the end of the second 2 years, which is 4 years, it's going to be 0. Payments per year is still 12. Compounding periods per year is 12. And the number of payments is going to be 2 years worth of 12. Now before I put this, I change this in my calculator here. What I want to do is I want to figure out how much interest I've accumulated in the first year. So I go 1, 24, just so I can, if I change what's in my TVM solver right now, I won't be able to use my sum in formula. So before I change it, I'm going to look it up. Clear, 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 clear. Let's just start afresh. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to see how much interest is accumulated in that first 2 years. So 1, not 48, but 24. And in the first 2 years, $875.76 is accumulated. All right. Now what happens in the second 2 years? Let's call our TVM solver up again. Oh. So we're going to use what's in here, 24. I'm going to go 1.7 plus 1.2, which ends up being 2.9, which is, just for the record, bigger than our dealership financing. And this is $13,251.92. What happened? What happened to my syntax there? Let's go back and figure it out. So 13,251.92. Okay. The payment, we're going to solve for it. The future value at the end of this stint, it's going to be 0. So I'm going to figure out the payments here. It is going to be $568.99.7. So it's actually going to be $569.0. Those rounding rules, they can be tricky. All right, so at the end of those 2 years, let's see what the interest is. So we want to go into our sum int, 124. Now this is just for what's in our TVM solver right now, so we're going to quit finance, TVM solver, and we're going to go down to the sum int, 1,24. So in that second 2 years, we have paid $404.02 in interest. So how would it change it? It would change it as we have described here. So for the first 2 years, our payments would be $564.91. And for the second year, it would, or sorry, for the second 2 years, it's going to be $569. So for the first 2 years, he would pay $564.91 per month. And the second 2 years pay $569 per month. So let's see here. Question C. How much? The question C, would it change our answer to question A? So in the first bit, we said that the line of credit was going to be better. So let's calculate how much interest he's actually paying here. In our new situation, so we have $875.76 plus $404.02. for a total amount of interest of $1,279.78. Now let's look back. For the dealership financing, he had to pay $1,483.86. And so for even this new higher interest rate, he would only pay $1,279.78. So no. Our answer doesn't change because he's still paying less interest for the line of credit.